What's up, everybody? 300 in the house. How's everyone doing tonight? Night. I hope everyone is doing okay. That's another Hangout chat. See how everyone is doing. So let's give it a minute till everyone shows up. So yeah, let's give it a minute. See if anyone shows up. Welcome. Thanks for the likes, everyone. Really appreciate that. Hey, how you doing, Irishman? How are you? How you doing? Yeah, dealing with a lot of pain, Other than that, I'm doing okay. Hey, how you doing, Tim? Good to see you. Well, we got Israel as a new topic. Yeah, I was diagnosed with cerebellum ataxia. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's like a nerve damage or so. Can't walk long distance. How you been, Tim? Yeah, so I've been diagnosed with uh, osteoporosis first, but then they realized that's not what it is. So and then I went to the doctor. They did X-rays, um, and they said that I have some nerve damage. My neck, my spine, and my hip is has moved 13.8% to the left. So um, uh, halfway crippled, basically. Um, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. No, there's no cure for it. All they said is just do some therapy. Uh, that's it. good on this end. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I need to. I put the Facebook ad, for a donation for a wheelchair, So um, let's see how that goes. But anyway, let me get to what I wanted to show you guys. Actually, um, give me a moment. Let me bring this up. So let's see. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Okay. It says Israel says it is at war after Hamas surprise attack. Let's see. Can you watch? Can you watch this? Uh,
not only infiltrated, as you noted, by air, by land, by sea, but then also took prisoners of war, took hostages with them. We know for a fact that there are soldiers and civilians who have been taken hostage and taken back into the Gaza Strip. We don't have specific numbers, but we expect those numbers to be in the dozens. That's in addition to the hostages that were taken within Israel itself. So militants would have entered homes and things like that, and we're keeping hostages within homes there. That's why we have this death toll and injury toll, about 300 Israelis killed, more than 1,500 wounded. We expect those numbers to rise. Meanwhile, the Israeli military is striking in the Gaza Strip. They've even actually sent out a warning to civilians in certain areas of Gaza, telling them to leave those areas and go further into cities as a way of sort of warning them that something is coming. What's also very interesting is what we've just heard from the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He sent a message in the last couple hours or so saying that we are embarking on a long and difficult war. He said the first phase that is going to be ending soon, hopefully, is to regain control from these militant infiltrations that right now, he says, they are starting the offensive formation. He also said that among the decisions that the cabinet has made is the stopping the supply of electricity, fuel, and goods to the Gaza Strip. So Israel controls almost all of the electricity supply for the Gaza Strip. They are cutting off the electricity. This is obviously as an attempt to try to cut off the Hamas organization's ability to communicate, to work together. But of course, it also affects the civilians in the Gaza Strip. In terms of Palestinian casualties, we know that those are in the high 200s, with more than 1,600 injured so far. We don't know the breakdowns of how many of those were militants who may have been killed actually on Israeli territory, because we do know that there were quite a few militants who were in Israeli territory. How many of those are civilians? But right now, this is a very quickly unfolding situation. I think the next stage of this is going to be this military response. As of right now, Jake, we don't have any indication that a ground incursion is happening by Israeli forces into Gaza. But the Israeli military is saying that they are preparing for that. This is a very complicated situation because Israel obviously wants to go after the Hamas militants, their organization, their heads in the Gaza Strip. But now there are Israeli civilians and soldiers, some of whom may be dead, some of whom are expected to be alive, being held in Gaza. And Hamas has said they're holding them in strategic locations. So any airstrike that Israel undertakes in Gaza, they need to be aware that there could be Israeli civilians or soldiers there as well. Jake.
Yeah, we're going to be talking in a couple minutes with a mom who has two teenage children who were taken hostage by Hamas. Just a nightmare scenario. Hadas Gold, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. The Israeli Defense Forces say that a senior officer was killed during the fighting. A 42-year-old Colonel Jonathan Steinberg led the Nahal Brigade, which is one of the IDF's main infantry units. I'm joined now by the former Israeli ambassador to the United States, Michael Oren. Ambassador Oren, thanks for joining us. What is Israel looking for from the United States in this situation?
Good evening, Jake. Good evening, and I want to express my condolences to the Steinberg family. I knew General Steinberg, an extraordinary man, extraordinary defender of Israel and the Jewish people. What Israel is expecting from the United States now is to stand foursquare with us. That was very much the essence of President Biden's speech today, his statement, which was extraordinary. I don't think Israel could have wanted anything more to say that the United States will stand solidly with Israel. It will give Israel everything it needs. And if I can unpack that for a second, in every round of fighting we've had with Hamas, indeed with Hezbollah in Lebanon, we tend to run out of certain types of ammunition. Pre-positioned beneath the state of Israel large amounts of American military equipment, including ammunition. We asked administrations during wartime for the keys, as we say, to these warehouses, and we are allowed to go in and take what we need. We write it down and pay for it later. It's replenished. It was only one time back in 2014 where that permission was denied during another round of fighting with Hamas, and the Obama administration did not concede to our request for certain types of helicopter ammunition, but it's very, very rare. And I think that what we understood from President Biden's statement today was that whatever we need, we're going to get. And I'm very sorry to say that we're going to need a great amount.
Do you have any concerns about the U.S. government's ability to provide what you need, given the political paralysis in Washington? We don't even have a Speaker of the House right now.
It is a concern. And I was asked on the Israeli press again and again, what are the ramifications of the crisis in Congress? One of them is the ability of Israel to request emergency aid certainly for systems like Iron Dome. We've done that in the past. I think that would be very difficult right now if Congress is dysfunctional. There are other considerations. Reports have stated that the United States has removed the large amounts of munitions from those free-position munitions under the state of Israel and transferred them to Ukraine. I can't be completely convinced that that Hamas wasn't aware of this, especially as the current conflict can very easily mushroom into a regional conflict involving not only Hamas in Judea and Samaria, the West Bank, but more importantly, more crucially, Hezbollah in Lebanon.
There are obviously questions being asked by citizens of Israel about the intelligence failure and about the military readiness questions about whether or not the IDF was positioned too much on the West Bank and not enough in other parts of the country. With the complete and utter understanding that the fault of what happened today lies with Hamas and the terrorists who committed these barbaric crimes, 100%. What is your understanding of these failures of intelligence and questions of readiness?
I think it's it's unassailable that there was a failure here. It's going to be too early to start finger pointing right now. I'm sure in Israel, everyone is accountable in Israel. No one's above that type of responsibility. That's been our experience in previous rounds of fighting. But right now, Israel is focused on defending itself, on defending its territory and clearing our territory of terrorists, of restoring our hostages to their homes, to their families, defending our homes and family. Jake, you know me, you know my family. They're all in bomb shelters tonight. Everybody, my kids, my grandchildren are all in bomb shelters tonight. And by the way, they've all known people who are already fallen victims to this. It's a small country. There's been lots of comparisons with 9/11. You've heard them. And one was never compare tragedies. Everyone's tragedy is their own. But proportionally, we've lost in one day probably twice as much as America lost in 9/11. So everybody knows somebody, and it's intensely personal and tragic.
The hostages that were taken, I don't know how many. It hasn't been disclosed how many. It might not even be known, truthfully, at this hour. We're going to be talking to a mom in a few minutes who has two teenage kids who were taken hostage. That really complicates the response because the targets that the IDF would otherwise focus on might have Israeli children, women, elderly hostages there. How can those hostages be rescued?
Well, we have special forces that are trained to do precisely that. But certainly this will figure into Israel's decision-making as to the subsequent stages of this fighting. The Israeli public will be overwhelming in favor of a non-return to the status quo ante. We've now had that status quo restored after 5 rounds of fighting with Hamas. It is not productive. Israel is ready to make a fundamental change in that status quo at a great price to Israeli lives, certainly. And we have no desire to inflict casualties on the other side, but we have an enemy that is usually using its civilians and now our civilians as human shields. We'll have to take that into consideration, but we cannot endure this anymore. This is literally insufferable for any modern nation, certainly the state of Israel. And my assumption will be, A, that Israel will take further steps to rid Gaza of Hamas. And then the big question, will Hezbollah sit on the sidelines? I have my doubts. Will Hamas in Judea and Samaria sit on the sidelines? Will radical elements among the Arab population of Israel sit on the sidelines? We have to be prepared for the possibility of a multi-front war, which will drag on and be immensely costly. We have no choice.
Former Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Michael Oren, thanks so much for your time. Coming up, a woman who says Hamas kidnapped her children. She'll join me. Her story is unbelievable. It is heartbreaking, and it is after this break.
So what do you guys think about that? Did I drop the link actually? Oh yeah, I did drop the link. Okay. But I seen that. I had a feeling that something like that would happen, especially when, I don't know, you guys remember like 5-6 months ago when Israel shoot some drones to Iran or something like that. I think, they just looking for a reason. I say they're looking for a reason just to start a world war. And that's just the way I see it. It will never end until one side wipe out the other. Unfortunately, we can't just live in peace and just live life. No, unfortunately, in human history, we are unable to live in peace, no matter what country it is. No matter who's innocent, no matter whose fault it is. This is how we've been living, for centuries. Fighting, destroying, killing, which is really sad, but that's just the way it is. Yeah, that is true, Irishman. And that it's crazy, like the civilians from any country, I say, nobody wants war, Hey, I mean, you guys are Americans, you guys want to live in peace. I am Iranian, I like to live in peace. Chinese people would like to live in peace. Australian people would like to live in peace. It's all the government that start all this madness, I don't know, but one is for sure, it's just a matter of time till the party starts, But hey, you guys know me now for a couple of years. I've been warning you people for a long time about this. But what can we do? That's the main question. What can we do about it? Not much, So that's the sad part about it. I did ask myself this question too. Is it possible that we all live in peace? But I don't think that's possible. Because there's always someone who wants to be in power, and in order to get in power, well, that's what they need to do. They need to destroy the opponent, right? Wrong. If we did, we would we would people have evil motives and don't care about the consequences. Right, right. Yeah, that is so true. I mean, look, uh, when was that? It was last year, September, when they killed this innocent Iranian young lady. Um, Over 20,000 people got executed because they stood up for her. So uh, the government, it's all the government. That's just my answer to this. I mean, not one single civilian would actually think of, okay, hey, I'm gonna go now to China and beat the shit out of these Chinese people. No, it is the government who starts conflict with other governments. That's how I say it. But I do believe, that this they trying to find a reason just to start something. Someone makes the fire, and then blame the next person. Hey, it was him. He did it. And and then unfortunately, the people believe that person, and they go and attack that innocent person. Even, even though he didn't do anything. It's a messed up game. But anyway, how is everyone doing? How you doing, Irishman? How you doing, Tim? How you doing, Garcia? How you doing, Dawood? I haven't seen you for a little bit either. And how is the temperature? It got cold here. Um, it was raining. It was raining the other day, and then I said, "Yeah, it's gonna cool down a little bit." It was like in the 97, 95 degrees, right? And then yesterday, temperatures dropped to 70 and 60 and 50. I'm like, that is crazy. That is crazy for real. And now I'm sitting here wrapped like a burrito, trying to keep myself warm. But I also heard in other states as temperatures has dropped to 48 in Michigan and rain. Damn, 48. Okay, okay, very busy working on several projects and preparing for my mother Sparks bug out weekend. Oh, okay. Well, that's awesome, Irishman. Yeah, I've been busy lately too. Um, doing a lot of designs and stuff like that. And then yeah, I'd be in pain a lot. So um, not much I can do besides just swallowing these M&M's pills. But they're not really helping. But I don't know what else to do. So, any of you guys have any other negative news besides I got this war with Israel now? yeah, looking forward to relaxing, preparing to teach the calm class. Hey, how you doing, Daniel? Good to see you. How you been? Hey, who knows? We might gonna get surprised with something else. With China, Russia, Iran, North Korea. Um, let's just take us moving forward. Right, right. Yeah, I mean, what is the point of uh, um, thinking negative at this point? Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, hey, you want my prepping prepping gear? I'm gonna die anyway. Here, I'm selling my stuff. No, don't be scared. Just be prepared. That's all we can do. And the more you practice, the more the more you are ready when shit goes down. At least that's how I see it. I don't know how other people look at it. Um, but everyone sees things differently. So, which is good. Imagine we would we all had the same opinion. That would be boring. The whole world is falling apart. Anything can happen at this point. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to America, I think America is burning down little by little. With everything that is happening with the stock market, economy, businesses, employees, inflation, uh, price increase in pretty much everything. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think only America could save all this everything on this planet right now. People are getting crazy. But it is crazy. I did design this shirt um, in I think in 2018 or 2019, and the title of that shirt was saying America is falling apart, right? And that was when what you call it? That was when Dangerous Freedom was still alive. And then some people were saying, oh, you are anti-American. I'm like, okay, I am anti-American. Okay, if you say so. Um, and then it's funny that now that design that I made actually is coming really true. Because I have said a lot of things back then. If you guys remember, Tim, um, yeah, Garcia, you guys are um, with me for a long time now. So all those all those things I said, it seems like are turning to reality. I mean, I hope it doesn't, but hey, um, we can't stop this. There's nothing we can do. If if we were able to do something about it, I'm sure we would have done it a long time ago. That's how I see it. That when people say, I am ready, or we need to stand up, That's all just a sentence, a sentence of a speech, but nobody is able to flip this into reality or into action. So I don't know. We will see what's going to happen next. But nothing is surprising me actually anymore. Because it seems like they want war. Instead of saying, hey, let's talk this out. Hey, if we do war, millions of innocent people could die from or so, but no, they just don't care. Just like they didn't care about the Vietnam War, they didn't care about the Iran and Iraq War, they didn't care about the Afghanistan War. They just don't care. At this point, you have to protect your own family as good as you can. That's how I see it. I mean, that's the reason why my parents actually took me away from there. Um, the government wasn't on our side. Not from Ireland, well, New York, right? We are just a pawn. Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. But I also hear from a lot of people that they purchasing land in foreign countries, um, and try to leave the country or so. I've heard from some people, um, some of my friends, they said they purchased land in Africa and they want to go there. Cold and wet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And well, the winter haven't even started yet, but it's already cold. I'm sure there's gonna be an ugly winter this year. Um, so for you guys, if you don't have bought any um, winter clothing, or you're looking for some, hey, this is a brand. You should look this up. They do have pretty good stuff. And my parents are from there. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think there is more violence is going to happen. Um, Even in this country. Like millions of people are really, really pissed and angry. I mean, if you think about it, look how many people, how many business owners actually have lost a lot. They have worked their entire life to build a business so that way they have uh, some security. I say. Now all that is gone. Common people who both live in the north. We have clothes for it. No, I'm just saying. Like I found this company. Uh, they they're making hunting clothing, you know, but also winter clothing. So I just thought, you know, I share this, you know. So well, if you do have enough winter clothing, then that's good, you know. I'm just sharing whatever I see somewhere, you know. I think that's helpful for everyone, you know. Always share it here, you know. But one thing is for sure, uh, people start prepping harder and harder. We don't know how ugly it's gonna get. I mean, yeah, we know it's gonna get ugly, but how ugly it's gonna get, you just don't know. Yeah, no, I know, Irishman. You're just going to visit you 300. Okay. So I don't know. I mean, I don't see no solution, you know, in everything that is going on, you know. I don't think we can satisfy the government for peace or so, you know, because on the end of the day, they're gonna do whatever they want anyway. So um, doesn't matter what we say, you know. I mean, you see it even sometimes in movies, you know, like how they do protests and say, you know, they say no more war or stuff like that. But on the end, they're gonna do whatever they want anyway. So you know, that's just how reality is. Last time I was in Texas, it snowed like that. Yeah, uh, come back again. It's gonna snow again, but this time probably worse. Tim, are you still in Texas or did you move? It's been a while since being on here with you. No, I am still in Texas, Harrison. Yeah, I'm still here. And hopefully one day I'm gonna come and visit Tim in Michigan, you know, and then maybe I make a trip to New York too, and who knows, maybe I see you there too. Oh well, they are keep coming and keep coming. Um, it's pretty much um, it's pretty much open. You know, I think I don't think they. You know, like there's always a process for an immigrant to move somewhere or so. Uh, I think I think that's not that they don't take it that serious anymore. You know, because I talked to a friend of mine who actually lives in Iran. You know, and then I talked to another friend who lives in Germany. You know, they both were saying the same thing. They were saying, yeah, you can pretty much go illegally anywhere right now. You know, I'm like, wow. You know, so uh, he was saying that Germany turned to a illegal uh, for illegals love to go to Germany. You know, so it is completely packed. Like he was telling me that they're using uh, the government is paying them money, paying the illegals money to in order to stay in motels, you know, and some even uh, there are so many of them there that they have opened like a what is it called? Uh, you know, like a indoor basketball court. You know, they have put there mattresses and blankets in there, so they always sleeping in those type of areas. Yes, New York is saying they have no more room. Last week it was in the high 80s degrees. This week in 50s. Yeah, it was the same here, Tim. It was like, I think it was close to 197 or something. And then suddenly it turned into the 50s and 60s here. Well, right now, let me see what it says right now. Okay, right now it says 61. 61, and it's supposed to go down to 54. So maybe to see the solution first. Yeah. Yeah, my friend was saying, if you are from Ukraine, they paying you almost $6,000 just to stay there. I'm like, wow, that is the amount of two households to giving to one household. If that's not crazy, then I don't know either. So I don't know where all this is heading to be honest. This is it is not getting better. It's just getting worse and worse. But well, time will tell where we're heading with it. So, and if you are new here and you like what you hear, smash the like button or dislike button. Subscribe or don't subscribe. It's all up to you. But I would appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel. Tonight, low, every night. And yeah, see, like the La Nina is supposed to head south. It's gonna be colder in the south than supposed to be in the north, which is a very, very rare thing that is happening. Yeah. So I don't know. I can only say for people who are in Texas, they better prepare themselves. They had a taste of it 2 years ago, so they better don't make the same mistake like they did last time. That's all I can say about that. So yeah, now I'm not that busy anymore. Now I have more time to come more often live. So you guys gonna see me probably tomorrow again or so. And sit down and talk about certain stuff, or any news or anything that you have in mind. You are welcome to jump in the box if you have any topics or so. Or if you want to speak about something, you're welcome to do that. Ashman, how did you do all that flooding? Yeah, I was going to ask you that actually too. Thanks for bringing this up, Tim. So because I heard that the flooding was in New York really, really bad. Good deal on 300. Yeah, anybody heard about the typhoon in the Philippines? Okay, but in certain areas we had 8+ inches. Oh, okay. Um, Alrighty, yeah, this is this is from today. Let me see if I can play this. Oh, I don't get a strike. If I do, oh well. Here we go.
Magandang hapon. Update na muna tayo sa lagay na ating panahon ngayong araw ng Sabado, October 7, 2023. Sa kasalukuyan nga ay may dalawa tayong minomonitor na bagyo sa labas na ating area of response.
I would really appreciate that. I don't understand Filipino language.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Narito po ang ating huling
Yes. How is that possible? There's not one person speak English.
Today's weather update is brought to you by you. Big thanks for everybody on Patreon who continues to support this channel. If you want to help out, the link is down below. Now let's get into today's update. A lot to talk about today in the tropics across the Western Pacific. So let's get into it. From Koinu, also known as Jenny in the Philippines, passing near Hong Kong, still maintaining this strong typhoon strength. We have another area, high chance of development just towards the west of Guam. This could impact the Philippines as we go ahead in through early next week. And then another area back behind that, which looks like it's going to be impacting Guam before turning off towards north. So 3 separate storm systems. A lot to talk about here today. Let's get into it. First, we're going to touch in on Koinu, also known as Jenny. This is still maintaining Cat 2, Cat 3 strengths according to JTWC. JMA does have it a bit weaker, but still at 150 kilometers per hour as it passes just south of Hong Kong. Signal force 3 in place at the.
Yeah, so that is not correct. The one that I heard, it hit the Philippines with 250 kilometers per hour and destroyed a bunch of homes and everything. Before I go, my son can speak their language. He could translate it. Oh, okay. It's all right, Anyway, these are the latest news I have. Like the stuff in Israel and a lot of disasters in Asia so far. But we will see what's going to happen. I'm just getting prepared for the winter because I know it's going to get real cold this year. So all I can say is thanks for coming, everyone. Tim, Irishman, Garcia, Dawood, who else was here? Tim, Dawood, Irishman, Garcia, yeah. I think that's about it, yeah. Stay warm, stay safe, stay blessed, and as always, 300 up, up.